Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Ethereum. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying that content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Okay, so let's get into this. So we were talking about a couple of options here. We were saying that this could be a high point here, and we could be actually looking for this B wave or this wave two to the downside, looking for that potential for continuation. But we're also talking about the fact that this could also complete a C wave to the upside and a bigger corrective move from back here. Technically speaking, this could still be something like this playing out as a completed corrective structure into this high. So there's a few things we've got to be careful of within this structure. If we start to move down impulsively, and we start to lose this key support zone that we have here of this 1448 to this 1192, potentially then we would still be looking for that idea of having a bigger five-wave structure to move to the downside and complete that fifth wave. So we need to give it a bit of space here and see how it develops, but that's what we're being careful of on the downside potential. Alternatively, we could also argue that potentially we're looking for either, like I said, a B, and then a C to the upside towards this 2216. Alternatively, if we move much higher here, potentially up to this 2986, what we could then have is a bigger five-wave structure. Also, within these subwaves, we haven't invalidated that potential that we have an extension. So I'm just going to turn that on so we can talk about it. We're talking about this zone here, this 1596 to this 1516 area, and the 786 is this 1516 area here, and basically we've come down to that 702 already. We could potentially push down a little bit more for that 1516 area. The problem with I have with this count is this move is getting a bit big now for the structure. So if we are going to be looking at this, I'd want to see an impulse starting to develop to the upside here, where we get something like this, potentially a 1, 2, move to another 1, 2, then we get a 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, which could then look to push us up towards this zone here, this 20,041 for confirmation of this third wave. We don't have that yet, so we need to be aware there are other options. But this is valid really for as long as we hold this 1516 and as long as we hold above this 1461. We'd want to see a decent move though here, like like an impulsive move out of this zone, because for as long as we remain inside this potential channel that we have here, you know, this could just continue to trend down, where we even potentially move back up into this and face further rejection and look to push down lower and lose this low. Losing that 1461 would invalidate this potential for this continuation to the upside. But for as long as we're above it, we need to just be aware that this thing could turn around. So just keep an eye on that. The alternative way that we were looking at it was that we're looking for this potential that we're already in this bigger ABC structure, looking to come down towards this 1448 to this 1192. So if I come in here, um, what we were looking at within this structure was that potentially we were looking for this to be a completed A wave into this low point, and then looking for this as a B and then a C to the downside. So for the most part, we can argue this could actually complete into this low here. We didn't quite come down to the zone we were talking about. We were looking for this 1534 to this 1518, but we didn't actually manage to come as deep as that. So we need to be cautious within this. This could become another 1 and a 2 here, and then we could get a 3, 4, and a 5 to the downside. That is still possible. It would only be confirmed by a deeper move here. Here, we'd have to look at this potentially as a wave 1 here, 1, 2. Um, this is speculative though, 1494. If we do see a five-wave structure down to that 1494, potentially we could see something like this play out where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, which would look to take us closer to this 1499 zone. But for the most part, we could argue that this is actually completed here and that we could actually be starting to form some structure to the upside. So the key thing within this And like I was talking about that potential of still being within this channel, we need to break out of this, in my opinion, for that continuation. Otherwise, what we could argue is that instead of this being an A, B, and a C down to this level, we could actually start to see a three-wave structure develop here to the upside, potentially looking to target out this zone here, this 1605 to this 1646. That would be a typical B wave here. I have also included this 382 here, just because of the fact that sometimes you might see a smaller corrective structure here, but really we would be expecting it to come up high into the zone. So a key zone that would be quite interesting to me would be this 618 here. Alternatively, this 786 would also be a potential retest of this high, or of the swing here. So that would be something to keep an eye on. If we do move up there, it could also tie in with actually a retest of this channel, which we've broken to the downside. So, you know, what we'd want to see if we're looking for this bullish cause off of this low here, so we want to see this move up, get back above this, and potentially back into this previous channel that we had here. We'd want to potentially come back and retest this zone and then look to actually continue to the upside, something to that effect. For as long as we remain within this channel, we could look for that continuation down. So even within this smaller time scale here, let me just jump into this. We are currently getting rejection off this 50% line here. It is possible that we could argue, we could be seeing something like a diagonal playing out here. We're going to get something like this. This becomes a 1, 2, get a three-wave move for 3, a 4, and a 5, and actually look to retest this zone. So I would be keeping an eye on this, really for as long as we stay below this zone here of this fourth wave high, this 1584, we can still look for that potential to come down to this 1-to-1, which is this 1499 zone. So this is what I'm sort of still keeping an eye on here. I'm not convinced this is finished yet. I do think we could have that potential drop one more time here in a yeah, like I said, either we can look at this potentially as a 1, 2, and then we're looking for that 3, 4, 5, or alternatively, potentially we could get a diagonal within this, where we get something like this play out as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, something to that effect. And then we actually look to just grind down lower, maintaining a top trend line on this, something potentially like this. I mean, it's early days, you can't really say it's going to be it's confirmed yet, but something like this, where we form this descending wedge to the downside and then look to actually break to the upside from that point. So that is what we are looking at within this. But yeah, as long as we stay below this swing high of this B here, this 1677, we could see something like this play out, where we get this as an A wave, we come back up for a B, and then we go back down for that C wave, and that could then potentially look to push us lower down towards the zone. If I go with that 618 of this 1484, so even a move up into this area wouldn't get me too excited, because potentially we could be looking for that continuation. If we want to argue and say that this A wave is actually completed here, then potentially we could actually be looking for a bigger retracement here, and that would be this red box area. So if we're looking for that bullish count, we have some areas of resistance we need to get over. We need to get over this channel. We need to, break above this fib resistance area. We need to take this B wave high. As well as that, we need to be cautious in this zone here, of the 1698 if we reach this higher end, because that would be a 786 retracement, and then obviously the high point as well of this 1711 zone potentially could offer us a double top situation, and then we look to break down from there. So there is a couple of possibilities within that, but ideally what I'm looking for is a deeper move down here, potentially into this 1448 to this 1192 zone, and then looking for that potential to push up from there. Obviously, this previous fourth wave here is also going to be an interesting area. If we do actually continue to sell off to the downside here, potentially we could get offered support at this fourth, where we then look for this B wave from that point. Alternatively, this could actually look to break down deeper, and we were talking about that in the previous video. Something I'm keeping an eye on. It's not confirmed yet, but basically the way we were looking at it is potentially looking at this as a diagonal pattern within here. This is a 2, and then looking for that possibility that we're potentially setting up for another 5-wave drop here. So we'd only get confirmation of this by pushing past this 1397. Don't have confirmation yet, but for as long as we can't actually take these highs of the 1677, even in that other option where we talk about that WX and a Y, we'd have to be careful that that doesn't start to extend out. If we do look at this, I think I need to adjust this box area now. Let's just double check it. Yeah, so I mean that's slightly different now because we've come down lower. So if we were looking at this, potentially we could face rejection within this zone here of this box, which is the 1646 to this 1605. Potentially we could get a rejection off of there if this is going to extend down. So keep an eye on this area. If we say we complete it here and we actually do take these highs, potentially we could see a move up into this area and then actually look for further continuation to the downside. Depending on how high we come here, like I said, potentially that 618 area could be an interesting zone. If we factor in the diagonal line down here, potentially we could see a rejection off of that, and then this could actually set us up for an additional 1 and a 2 here, in which case we'd have 1 2 1 2, and then we'd be looking for that much deeper drop. If we had to confirm this, we'd be looking for, obviously this is speculative, we don't have the wave structure yet, and we could do a lot of things here like we discussed, but a move past this 1407 after moving up towards the 618 region here in a 5-wave structure, that would then give us pause to actually look at this potentially as a bigger move, where then we'd get another 4th wave here, a 5th wave, and then another 4th and a 5th to the downside, and that would actually start to break down more impulsively. So we need to just be aware of that. As long as we keep setting these lower lows, lower highs, potentially we could look to start to extend out. Like I said, we could look at this as a diagonal within here. This is a 2, and then we actually look for either. So as a diagonal, it can either be an A, B, and a C, which is fine, but basically that follows the same track record or the same target as that C wave from the other option. This is just looking for that potential to actually have a bigger break to the downside. If we do form a 5-wave move down like this, we need to be cautious because then this could either be A, get a B and a C. We'd be looking for a deeper retracement then, potentially coming down towards the lower end of this 1241 zone at 786. And then we could actually look to either rally from there, or this could develop into an impulse, bigger impulse down, and we're looking for that 5th wave. So there's a couple of things to keep in mind at the moment. I am still anticipating a move into this box. I would like to see that for neatness. This would just make it very neat if we do move down into here. It's just how we do so that's going to be important. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed the content. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. As well as that, there is affiliate links for Primex, BT, and BYBIT within the description. Check them out. Great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you use the affiliates links, it does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, I hope you have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.